Welcome to the stream. If you're watching after the live stream, then feel free to skip through because the race will be starting shortly. Yeah, it should be a good race today.
Seems it.
Baku's tough on elite settings, really hard.
I bet, yeah. Actually, I tried it once and it was a struggle.
Yeah.
Big struggle. Oh, it's a stream. Oh. I'll have a bit of a rest through qualifying. I think I've got a little bit of a cold or something, I don't know. Oh. We're waiting for patty particles. Oh, Rick. Oh, Rick. Hello, Zach. Welcome in. Good to see you. We are here in Baku in Azerbaijan for the 5th race of Season 2 of ESRL.
I'm joined today by Sumo. It's good to see you back in the commentary box for ESRL, mate.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I've missed a lot of the ESR races over the time, and made a promising start out last season, and then very quickly dropped away. But it's always good to come back to ESRL.
Absolutely, there's some brilliant racing and sometimes some drama in our elite leagues because it's very, very tricky, and Azerbaijan is going to be a huge test for our drivers today.
Certainly is. Yeah, it's a very simple circuit on paper. When you look at it once and all, there's a lot of 90-degree corners. It's fairly easy to get navigated, but the trouble is there's a lot of high-speed, twisty sections, and there's a lot of braking zones that are, a lot of the braking zones are very heavy. So not having perfect references is going to be a struggle for the drivers today. And of course, there's the dreaded castle section, which is always very tight and provides some very drama-filled moments.
Absolutely. Rick says 10 DNFs or shit night. Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. As looks like Vans Racing is going to be the first car on track in the Alfa Romeo. Good to see him back after a little bit of a hiatus he's had. So it's good to see him on track. But we don't have Plevs in the grid today, which is very unfortunate. He's kept so the gigantic championship lead.
No one's that as close to him. This is going to be huge for NER, and he's going to really look to see he's got over everybody else this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been untouchable so far. The only was, well, I suppose you can say he was challenged a bit in Zandvoort. It was a last lap overtake, but it never looked like he was going to lose that race. He had it completely under control, and Monza was the only time you really saw him challenged. It was very difficult for him to stay with the likes of Speed Alcoholic and Plevs and Major. They were all up there with him, so yeah, hopefully he can be challenged today, but I suspect that a technical and very tricky track like Baku is only going to play into his strengths.
Yeah, certainly so, but you can never speak too soon in motor racing. Anything could happen, of course. So we'll have to wait and see.
Apparently my internet connection is fucked.
Oh, that's no good.
Not good. Not good at all.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let me fix that. Apparently I'm not broadcasting, so...
Uh-oh, indeed.
Rick, are you still with me?
Well, I'm watching the stream right now. Apparently
Are
you? Yeah, I've got it up. It's
oh, a collision between Vans Racing and the Mercedes of what looks like Speed Alcoholic in qualifying. That's not ideal at all. Vans Racing, in fact, Vans has retired from the session. So, yeah, that's a bit of controversy there. Speed was just sort of minding his own business, and then Vans just didn't have anywhere to go. He was on a lap, Speed wasn't. So, yeah, there's some shenanigans going on there. Okay, it's good that the stream is still going. It said that my stream was dead, so I'm not sure what's happened.
Oh, that's an Alpine in the wall.
Oh, at turn one it is.
Turn one.
How has Myra managed to do that? That's a very odd place to lose the car. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Wow. I literally looked up from what I was doing and bam, he's in the wall.
But yeah, that was certainly an odd one. Sorry if I seem distracted. I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to keep an eye on my stream as well, just in case it goes again. But Avi84, our reigning, not our reigning champion, our reigning runner-up in the Red Bull, has set the initial pace with a 39.4, with Speed Alcoholic on the mediums going a 40.7 just behind. Speed does like his alternate strategies, so I wonder if we'll see him remain on the mediums. If he's too far down, I wouldn't be surprised to see him switch back over to the softs.
Certainly. So, I want to have a little shout out for Scott at the moment. We're going to be rooting for him tonight. I mean, impartiality, we root for everyone, I suppose. But for week 4 in on his time on the wheel, and we'll be hoping for a good finish for Scott this season.
Yeah, he's not had the best luck so far this season, and obviously with his new wheel, he's going to be struggling to get back up to his previous pace. But yeah, definitely we're rooting for him here in the commentary box. Nath Clark MC, by the way, a newbie. I haven't seen him before in the Ferrari. Goes P2 on the mediums, 5 tenths ahead of Speed, so that's very encouraging for Nath Clark.
That's a good lap. Yeah, Avi has set the initial pace then of a 39.4 at the beginning of this qualifying session. I think his teammate Amir is just starting out a lap actually. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's try and find the next person to cross the line.
I think that is going to be... I think that's going to be Speed Alcoholic, but he's not on a lap. So it will be Aces who's on an out lap, and then looks like Neil, who I don't think he's gone on for another lap. We'll find out as he gets past the Sector 2 line. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2.
Very deep for Major. He went very deep. He had a lot of cars behind him, and I think that threw him off of his lap there.
Neil is on a lap in that Aston Martin. He was nearly 2 seconds up, so clearly he wasn't happy with that first lap. Here he comes now up to the line. It's a long straight. I believe it's the longest flat-out area on the calendar, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he's... Oh, okay. He's gone into the pits, so clearly doesn't want to waste the softs too much for another lap, despite being up on his previous time.
Here comes Motsi Peretz. Let's see what he can do. He's on the medium tyres. He'll be looking to get up there with his teammate. Let's see what he can do as he approaches the line. It's going to be in the 140s, and I think it's even slower than that, actually.
43.2, so P5, and immediately eclipsed by Ted in the McLaren just behind.
Here comes Amir. Oh, 39. A good lap from Amir.
5 thousandths of a second between the two Red Bulls. No love lost between last season's championship rivals. But it's Avi in provisional pole at the moment. NER Ayrton yet to set a lap, but I'm sure we'll see him light up the timing screens as soon as he gets on track.
Certainly so. I think that's Ted. Is that Ted? Yeah, Ted's found himself in the runoff area. He's lost his front ring trying to turn around. That's not an ideal way to go qualifying, but he'll come into the pits and change that. What else is going on? Ayrton yet to come out on circuit then. We've got DMV Assassin, the other Alpha Tauri. He's just started a lap. So we'll keep an eye on that as they go around. Tears on an out lap right now. There's a Mercedes. I think that's Aces finishing a lap.
Kings. Yep, he's coming across the line now. I've been riding on board, and he goes into P3 with a 40.1. Not quite breaking that 1 minute 40 barrier, as Womax has retired from the session at turn 2. Can we see where his car is? Yes, it's right in the middle of the track, so they've got to be careful. Ghosting is off, remember.
That was so close.
It was very close, yeah, it was. Aces barely avoiding the stricken Williams at the side of the track.
Here comes Motsi Perez. He's 8 tenths up on his previous. It's only good enough to put him up one more place. But he goes into P7 on those mediums.
Not too bad for him. Speed Alcoholic is out again on the soft, so clearly he's not going for the alternate strategy this time. He wants that pole position. After having a great race in APPF1 just a moment ago, which Sumo was commentating on actually. Nearly won, but it was stolen from him at the very last lap, so he'll be hoping to make amends in ESRL today.
Yeah, he certainly will. I'm right on board along with DMV Assassin at the moment. He's coming down that very, very long straight. He's opened the DRS now, looking to set his first lap of the session. It's going to be in the 140s. It's a 40.3, but good enough for P5. It's a decent lap.
Not too bad from DMV Assassin. He did well in the Netherlands last time out. He didn't have the greatest pace on track, but just as the whole grid seemed to clear out in front of him. Just crashes everywhere and so many incidents between cars, and he just kept the car on the track, kept it going, stuck on a set of the hards and drove it to the end, and it got him a really good position in the end, so fair play to him. He'll be hoping to repeat that today. Here comes Speed Alcoholic though. He's on a lap in sector 1 right now. What's it going to be across the timing line? He is 5/10 up, so look out for Speed.
Avi's 3/10 down on his previous bets now, so I'm not sure he's going to do too much to gain on that. I think he's already peeling into the pit lane. Yet, in he comes. It's a shame for him, but he'll have plenty of time to improve, I'm sure.
Oh, Speed, a huge tank slapper out of the castle section at the end of sector 2 there. Just about managed to keep it on the track, but he will have lost at least a tenth there as he comes down towards the end of sector 2 now, coming up to the last proper corner on the track. He's going to be 1.5 seconds up, so Speed Alcoholic is priming himself to go into provisional pole.
It's looking like a really good lap from Speed. He's a very quick driver when he wants to be. He wins a lot of races. He's got a lot of those under his belt, and he'll be looking to take pole position as he comes all the way down to the line. Is it going to be a good lap?
Wow.
It is. It's a 38.9.
Brilliant lap from the Mercedes. The South African puts himself onto provisional pole and will be hoping to keep himself there. But with NER Ayrton still in the pits, he'll be setting a lap towards the end of the session like always. And I wouldn't count him out. Yeah, Major Dessler goes P7 on the mediums.
8/10 up, Neil, but he's not improved too much on his time from that lap there, so that's slightly disappointing for him. Amir's out on an out lap now, so we'll keep an eye on his timing boards. Hoots too much coming through. Oh, he's set fastest sector 2, but that doesn't mean too much. This is his first run of the session. And we're coming through the high-speed sector 3 now.
Yeah, here he comes, flat out all the way to the line from here for Hoots too much in the Williams. Coming up to the line now, I think he's going to be fairly high up. It'll be in the 41s, 42s, 42.1. It's deceiving how far the line is away when they get up to the DRS zone. But yeah, Hoots too much puts himself into P9.
Against the Haas of Lirapel, or is it Irapel? I can never remember.
It's Irapel, as Rick keeps telling me. It's a Dutch name, so
Dutch name. I see.
He's very partial about me getting it right, and I still get it wrong, but I do my best. Here comes Neil. He's 1.5 tenths up, 1.5 tenths down. Sorry, so. I think we'll see him peel into
and there's 5/10 up on his time. This could see him challenge Speed here. He's coming through the fast sector 3 now. This could be a lap for provisional pole on the cards here as he comes all the way down. He'll be opening up that DRS about now, giving him that little bit of extra speed coming down the line, reaching up to 200 miles per hour.
Oh,
it's a pole.
4,000! Oh my word! What an incredible qualifying we have in store here. But look on track. There's an AlphaTauri on track. It's NER Ayrton. He's out on the track. He's going to do a lap. And yeah, it feels a lot like the final boss has entered the fray.
Oh dear. Everyone's got a health bar above the screen now.
Yeah, just says
Okay,
NER Ayrton at the top of the screen. It's just this red bar that extends all the way from the left to the right.
everyone's rolling around in circles.
Yeah. Here he comes. He's going to start his lap now up onto the flat out part of the track. He's going to start opening his DRS, and we're going to ride on board with the championship leader as he starts his first and what will possibly be his only lap of the session. No, he's coming in. He's coming into the pits.
Oh.
What has happened here? What is Ayrton doing? I'm sure we'll see him come back out on track again, but will he have enough time? It will be close, as we've got a Ferrari in the wall at turn 3. That's Moti Peretz. Doesn't look like any damage to the Israeli's car, but definitely lost his lap.
3 tenths up for Ted. It looks like he's going to see him improve up into P11. He's coming through sector 3 now. I think the Red Bulls are working together back there. Avi setting, or Amir setting Avi up for a good run through his lap. Giving him the slipstream to start it off. 5 tenths up for Ted. Big improvement up into P10, so he's found some even more time in that high-speed sector.
Good stuff from Ted, yeah. Up to P10 he goes. And, well, we've got Eat Apple on an out lap. But what about Ayrton? He's still not out on track. He's still in the garage. Is he going to come out? I can't see him coming out again. He might be starting from the back.
Yeah, he might do. It's a very strange strategy. Maybe he wants to give himself a challenge. Avi set the fastest sector 1 of anybody so far. He's 1/10 up on his current time at the moment. He's coming through toward the castle section now, through turn 7. That's a decent run through there. You want to be as committed as you possibly can through castle. Get as close to those walls as you dare, and try and just focus on corner exits. It's the best way to come through that sector. Coming down now through the fast sort of outer ring of the circuit, I guess you could call it that. Down towards sector 3 as the Mercedes of out of speed pulls over to the side, warming up those tyres. It's still a 10th up, as fast as sector 2. It's going to be decided in the final sector then as Avi comes all the way down to the line.
Maybe he had a terrible final sector or something in the previous lap, because this looked like, that looked like an absolute doozy of a lap. So we'll have to see. He comes across the line. Is it going to be anywhere near pole? 37, 38, 39, 39.2. He can't get himself onto the front row. So it's between Amir and Speed has just started a lap.
Speed's going to look to go even faster than Amir. He's got 4 thousandths of a second to find on this lap. It doesn't look like much, but in Formula 1 it is quite a bit of time to try and make up. It's all about the fine margins here in Formula 1 as Tia retires from the session. He's had enough. That's his qualifying over. There's only 14 seconds left on the clock, so it'll be a mad rush to the line. I don't think that Williams of Who's Too Much is going to make it. He's got 5 seconds.
Here comes the Mercedes round towards sector 2. He comes up to the castle section now, up to turn 7. Looks like a decent run through there, and up to the castle now. He's got to get this right. Doesn't do a Charles Leclerc, keeps it on the track. But he's gone very deep into the last corner of the section, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's just trying to push a little bit too much through there, and we'll have to see how much that's going to affect him as he comes across the timing line for sector 2 now. Here he comes. Where's it going to be? Is it going to be down? Yes, he's 3 tenths down. So I think Amir has got himself onto pole position here, unless anyone can deny him. Aces versus Kings is into the pits. Nath Clark's into the wall. He's done a Leclerc. In he goes. And Nath Clark is out of qualifying. Is that going to be difficult for Hoots Too Much? Actually, he's coming up to the castle section now. And yeah, he can't avoid the Ferrari. It's a disaster in the castle section. Is anyone else on a lap behind them? No, thankfully. But that's so unlucky for Hoots Too Much. There was nothing he could do about that. And yeah, Nath Clark channeling his inner Monegasque.
Big improvement for Major Desola here. He's going to move well up into P4. Great lap.
Yeah, good lap from Major for sure. Onto the second row with Avi. And by the way, DMV Assassin P5 in qualifying today. What a brilliant lap from him. He's I haven't seen him up the top of the standings so far in terms of pace, so good to see him there. Maybe he's a big fan of Baku.
Yeah, perhaps. Nathan Clark, I am stupid, indeed.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying right now. I don't know if he's actually in Charles Leclerc's car, but it'd be even more fitting if he was.
Well, there is qualifying. Amir takes pole position in the Red Bull by 0.004 of a second from the South African of Speed Alcoholic in P2. That is going to be one hell of a race between those two today, and possibly Ayrton if he can come through the field. Avi, P3, Major on the second row, P4, good luck from him. DMV Assassin puts himself into P5 with Aces in P6 just behind. Nathan Clark, after his Charles Leclerc moment, finds himself in P7 on the mediums though, with Neil in P8 on the same tyre. Hoots to Much P9, Ted rounds out the top 10, and then we've got Tia, Moti Perret, Scott, Myra, Apple, and I think it was Ayrton and Womax and Vans at the end of the grid there.
Certainly was. It's going to be an interesting race. It's a short run down to turn 1. Even though it's a ridiculously long straight, there's going to be I'd say some good wheel-to-wheel racing, but everybody's got to be mindful and respectful that the walls are there, and they will be punished if they are not respected, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. A small mistake around Baku can cost you everything. I know that all too well.
So do I.
Had a few moments around here. Threw away a race win, if I can speak, at turn 3 when I was braked just a little bit too late and had to take avoiding action for the car in front and found myself in the wall. So yeah, it's very tricky. If anything goes wrong, then our drivers are going to have to react very quickly to keep themselves in the race. It looks like we're about to get underway.
Oh, lights out 2 times in one day. Oh.
Don't worry, I'll shoulder the burden of lights out. Let's have a quick look at the tyre situation. So, of course, all of the top 6 on the softs, but Nath Clark and Neil both on the mediums to start this race, so on the alternate strategy for them. Tier and Scott, the only ones outside the top 10 to start on the soft, with Moti Perret, among others, starting on the mediums. But NER Ayrton in P16, keep an eye on this man. He's going to be fighting his way through the field. I'm sure he's starting at the back for a challenge, but we'll have to see if he can live up to it. But Amir and Speed, I would not count your chickens just yet. Womax just behind, and Vans will round out the grid after their crashes, both respectively, in qualifying.
I can confirm that Nathan is in Charles Leclerc's car.
He is. Oh no.
Even more fitting. Let's hope nobody does it in the race, especially not one of the leaders. That would be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
Amir is checked out already. Look, he's got
a
huge gap on the formation lap there.
He's slowed down now, he's realised.
Yeah. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. So,
as the drivers get lined up on the grid, can we have some podium predictions in the chat? We've already got Bluey saying that Ayrton will be on the podium, but full podium predictions would be great. It'd be great if we could have like a fantasy league for these sim leagues.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? It'd be quite a thing to set up and kind of do.
Oh yeah, but, I'm not bloody doing it.
You do too much anyway.
Exactly.
We'll get someone to do it. Oh, as Neil had to slow all the way down there, avoid going into the back of the Ferrari of Nath Clark.
Well, we're about to get lined up on the grid now. The two front row drivers. First to the grid by some distance, and they're going to have their tyres slowly losing temperature as everyone else lines up. But it looks like we're about ready to go for 26 laps at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Cars lining up, really waiting for that green flag now, waiting for those red lights.
Nice Ukraine helmet for Amir.
Right, a Ukraine helmet on the first race of sprints.
Here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in ESRL. Speed gets a fantastic start already down the inside of Amir. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. It looks like Speed is going to have the upper hand as they come into turn 2. Amir's going to back out, is he? Yeah, just about right at the end, just as they turn in. And it looks like everyone's gotten through turns 1 and 2 fairly cleanly. Nath Clark up to P6. Let's go to position changes. So yeah, Nath Clark getting past Aces and Speed getting past Amir. Womack's up 3 positions already. Ayrton still all the way down in P17, so he's not been able to make any ground at the start.
No, incredible stuff from Speed to jump Amir off the start there. It's always the start of the race is always important, but it's not the most important thing. It's getting it all the way to the end. So I'm sure Amir will have an answer to that. And he's also got his teammate Avi behind him as well. So he's got to have a few attempts at getting into Speed Alcoholic and putting some pressure on.
Yeah, Speed is very well known for his starts. He is absolutely electric on the throttle. And he's proved it again today as Nath Clark is going to go down the inside of DMV Assassin. He decides against that very sensibly. That could have ended in tears there. But he's looking racy in that Ferrari with those medium tyres, as it looks like Moti Peretz has gone down the grid.
He's missing an end plate, front left.
Oh, so he'll be into the pits. Unfortunately, here comes Nath Clark. He's just behind the AlphaTauri of DMV Assassin. Can he make the move? Assassin is using overtake. We've got overtakes happening across the board. I think people are losing the cars or something. Speed Alcoholic sets the fastest lap, but down the inside goes Nath Clark of the AlphaTauri, and he makes the move into P5 on the mediums. Nath Clark, one to watch today, as Major De Sola also under pressure in towards turn 2. There's a little bit of contact, but it doesn't look like there was any damage to the Ferrari, but Major under pressure.
Yeah, Speed's done well to open up that gap there at the front, 1.2 at the moment, but probably won't stay like that. It's already dropping down already. We'll wait and see what happens. There's a lot of pit stops as Tier, Ayrton, Moti Peretz and Hoops Too Much have all collected damage on the opening lap. There's a lot of banging against the walls. I saw Aces have a little tank snapper into the wall on the exit of, I want to say it's 15.
I think it's 15, I think you're right. As Myra gets past Ted into turn 7, good overtake from the Alpine, gets a better exit out of turn 6, and makes it work when Ted is now under pressure from Womax and Eat Apple just behind as well. So the McLaren driver going to find it difficult.
As Clark coming fast again. He's all over the back of Major Dessler. He's a 10th off right now. I think he might even try and go for the move again as we go through Sector 3. He was pushing him through that high-speed section of Sector 2 there.
Yeah, just got a bit too much on the curb out that last corner though. So he's going to lose out big time on the straight.
Look at it close. He's got so much less.
As Ted has retired at the last corner, he's into the wall. He has binned it, and that's a VSC. So Nath Clark's overtake attempt has to be aborted. It doesn't look like we're going to upgrade to a full safety car, but yeah, that will neutralize the race for now as Aces takes advantage and comes into the pits.
Yeah, Aces taking a bit of a gamble here. He's got a free pit stop. He's fixing some damage as well. He must have had some olive green damage or something. I didn't see any damage when I looked at this car the first time. But best way to sort of take it out. He doesn't lose too much time. He will go to the back of the bigger group of cars, but he won't sink all the way.
Yeah, for sure. Ayrton is all the way down in P13 after that damage he took on the first lap, so not the best start for the championship leader, and he's going to need a safety car to get himself back in this race now. Speed Alcoholic leads by just over 1.5 seconds, but that's come down. Of course, the delta is going to change quite a lot under the VSC. We'll have to see how it shakes out once we have green flags again. Talking of green flags, there they are, DRS back enabled, and the gap is 1.2, so it's stayed around the same, which is good. That's what the VSC is supposed to do. But Nath Clark is now going to have another go at Major into turn 1, I'm sure, very close behind the Alfa Romeo, and this is extremely impressive pace that the Ferrari is showing on those medium tyres.
Yeah, and this guy's on his debut as well, if I'm not mistaken, so he's really putting on a show here in ESRL, and those medium tyres are looking hot for the Ferrari at the moment. He's closing quite quickly on Major Desola. There's a lot of time to be found behind another car. They're just punching a hole in the air for the car behind, and I think this overtake's looking on.
Here comes Avi, down the inside of Amir, his teammate, into turn 1, and Avi has taken P2 as Major gets a huge tank slapper just behind out of turn 1, and that is the opportunity Nath Clark needed. Up he goes into P4, and now he's going to chase after the Red Bulls on those mediums. He's a real threat for the race win today.
Yeah, he certainly is. This is incredible stuff from the Ferrari as the Red Bulls are battling once again. They need to work together. They're not title rivals this time, they're teammates. They've got to try and maximise the points that they're going to get and work together to try and catch speed. Because if they keep fighting, Nath Clark even, on those mediums, is going to catch them as those softs do start to wear out. Yeah,
I think the Red Bulls just don't really have a choice but to swap positions. The DRS is so strong around here. But that's really letting them lose out as Avi gets a tank slapper as well out of turn 7, so he really lost out time-wise to Nath Clark, who's already within a second of them. Look how far back Major has dropped, so those softs already starting to go, and I think we might see the top 3 come in pretty soon.
Yeah, certainly. I think Nath might enjoy this track as well. Just the way he's sort of driving, he's got a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Coming through all of the corners. Look at him go through there, flat out. I love this section of the circuit. It's incredible to drive through.
Not if you've got wing damage.
No, not at all.
Here comes Avi again, yeah.
Double slipstream for the Ferraris. Look at that closing speed. He sets the fastest lap of the race.
So yeah, Nath Clark has got a big opportunity here. Amir with a huge slide out of turn 1, and Nath Clark onto the podium. As we've got yellow flags in sector 2, that looks like Scott has gone into the wall at the castle section. Disaster for the McLaren, but we've got to watch Nath Clark as he goes round the outside of Avi into P2 goes the Ferrari. Brilliant move from him, and he's going to be after the race leader of speed as Ayrton now sets the fastest lap in the AlphaTauri, so he's not done yet.
Nath is a man on a mission. He has got past both those Red Bulls immediately, and he's going to be right on the hunt for Nath, for Speed Alcoholic now. His tyres are probably also coming to a drop point.
Oh, as he hits the wall, though, on the castle section. I think he got away with it, but he's got a huge slide as well, and that's going to give the Red Bull behind an opportunity maybe into turn 16. Not quite. The Ferrari just about manages to keep it, but that's lost him at least 5/10 to speed up ahead as Vans Racing gets himself past Womax, who looks like he's done a Charles Leclerc in the castle section. He's got the car going again, but without a front wing, unfortunately.
It's very unfortunate. It's so easy to do in that castle section. It's so tight. You've got to be very careful but very committed at the same time. Very tricky to get right.
Absolutely. But yeah, as you said, Nath Clark, man on a mission. He's 2 seconds behind Speed. How quickly is that gap going to come down as Avi into the pits? So he's had enough of those soft tyres, and he's going to be switching on to another set. It's going to be the mediums, I think. It's the mediums for the Red Bulls. So where's he going to come out? Is he going to come out in traffic? He's got Wumax and DMV Assassin coming down the straight. I think he's going to be in front of them. But he is going to have to get past Vans Racing pretty soon. So not too bad for him as Neil gets past Major de Sola on the run up to turn 3. Good overtake from the Aston Martin. Pretty simple stuff. Nath Clark already within 1.7 of Speed.
Yeah, certainly. So he's chopping that gap away. He's really the perfect start for the alternate strategy. For Nath Clark and Neil as well. They're well up the order, so they could be in contention for the race win here. Avi is down into P9 after that stop. We'll have a see where the gap is. It's 20 seconds, so he should come back ahead, or he should come out ahead of Speed, possibly. But it is quite short.
Oh, Vans into the wall! Avi has to take avoiding action, just about manages to avoid the Alfa Romeo, but that's going to be good because he was losing time all the time he was stuck behind the Alfa as Major ships another place, so those softs definitely coming to the end of their life. Just 6 laps into this race, and Nath Clark already within a second of the Mercedes. Speed Alcoholic stays out though, so we know he's got a reputation for tyre saving. Can he put that to use and keep the Ferrari behind, as Amir does dive in as well?
Amir into the pits then, so Red Bull jumping early, trying to get the undercut.
Major in as well.
Avi? Yeah, it's very short pit lane around here, so it's very tight between them. I think, and Avi is very just going to come out ahead, is he?
They're side by side into turn 2, maybe. It's Amir who's got the upper hand just about, but Avi's going to have the DRS up to turn 3, and I think he's going to make the move on his teammate. Yes, he is. Amir not putting up too much of a fight, understandably, against his teammate, and Avi through to P6.
2018 flashbacks.
Very true, yeah.
Just seeing 2 Red Bulls careening into each other at turn 1.
Yeah, the last Red Bull double DNF before last week, that was, in real F1. But hopefully that's not repeated today for the sake of these 2 great drivers of ESRL. But it's Avi who has the upper hand for now. Nath Clark within 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths of Speed Alcoholic, who's the only one on softs out on track who started on that tyre. Surely he comes in this lap as Myra gets himself past Neil, who must have had a bit of a moment. I think he might have damage in that Aston Martin, so not ideal for Neil.
Here comes Nath Clark, he's closing that gap. The DRS is going to be open any moment now. I think Speed's going to be in trouble here. He's going to look to the inside as Nath Clark. Speed doesn't defend, he goes to the outside, and the job's done before the braking zone.
Very easy for Nath Clark as Speed goes very deep into turn 1. Those softs really screaming out for him to pit, but Speed stays out. He's going long. I don't know what he's got in mind. He must have something in mind in terms of strategy. He's, as I said, a very well-known tyre-saving beast. So if anyone can pull off a strange strategy, it is Speed Alcoholic. As NER Ayrton, because of pit stops, now finds himself in P7.
Those Red Bulls aren't too far behind, only about 19 seconds from Nath, so it's about 18 or so as Red Bull swap positions once more.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just working together. They're not putting up too much of a fight against each other. They're just letting the DRS do its thing and keeping together, keeping themselves in the race for a double podium. But we've got Nath Clark 2 seconds up the road already from Speed, who's really struggling on those softs. And I've got to say, by the way, in terms of Nath Clark, anyone with the number 27 on their car is someone I trust. But yeah, he's certainly blitzing the field at the moment. Those mediums really working for him. We've got yellow flags. Is that Tia and Moti, it looks like, have had a collision maybe. Although maybe just Moti was in the general area, but Tia definitely had a crash. I'm not sure if he has damage, but Speed Alcoholic, is he coming in? No, he's staying out on those softs. 8 laps it's going to be on those soft tyres. Is he waiting for a safety car maybe? What is he waiting for? What's his plan? It's difficult to see what's inside his head at the moment.
Perhaps he's hoping that he can go onto a set of mediums and go the distance.
I think that is
probably,
yeah, I think that is probably what he wants to do. He's well known for pulling these sorts of things off.
Here comes Neil on Major Decimal. Sorry, he's going around the outside. He gets the better drive, bit of contact there, but he makes it stick.
Yeah, Major on the hards. He didn't really have much of a chance there against the Aston on the softs. So Major's definitely going to the end on the hard tyre, but is it going to be the right call for him, as the Red Bulls have now caught up to Eat Apple in the Haas up front, who's been on the medium since the start. So yeah, Amir and Avi will be looking to get past him as soon as they can, especially with the Haas having a penalty.
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, I wouldn't bank on there not being a safety car around here. It's very likely. We've already had a VSC, and I'm certain we'll have ourselves a full course caution.
So, Sumo, have a look at that gap between P1 and P2. What on earth has happened? What has Speed found? Speed has found some kind of absurd pace here, but he makes a huge mistake. And just as I say it, I think I must have cursed him. He makes a massive mistake out of the final corner and loses about 7 tenths. But he's found a second wind in that Mercedes, it seems, as long as he can keep it on the track. 9 laps it's going to be on those soft tyres. I think you're right, he's going to do a soft medium, but he will have had a warning for that track limits breach at turn 1, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, certainly. So I think he's trying to push that out as much as he can, but he's going to be fighting those Red Bulls when he comes out of the pits.
I think he's going to be well behind them, actually. I don't think he's going to be up with them, but he's going to be banking on them having to make another stop and going all the way back down as Eat Apple is under pressure from Avi. Amir got past up into turn 1, but Avi had a look, couldn't quite make the move, and now it's going to be tough for the second Red Bull to get past the Haas, because he's going to have the DRS off his teammate. We've got yellow flags. That's Speed Alcoholic into the wall at turn 6. And it's a disaster for the Mercedes. Just pushed those softs a bit too long, and he's going to be surely pitting this lap. It doesn't look like he has damage in the Mercedes, but the damage in this case is 10 seconds lost, and he's hit the wall again. Yeah, at the castle section, he's losing so much time. I think he does have damage, we just can't see it on the camera, and he's losing time. Yeah, here comes Amir. Speed Alcoholic has had a disaster here. He was running well, but just tried to push those softs a bit too far and has lost out. He's in P3 still, but under pressure he's going to be on the run to turn 1, and surely we're going to see him dive into the pits now. And there goes Amir. No grip at all for the Mercedes.
Yeah, I think Speed's definitely got some sort of damage on that Mercedes car there. I've just been looking at NER Ayrton isn't too far behind all of this either. He's got well up from the back of the grid there, and he could well be on the podium and he'll even win as Speed's hit the wall.
Oh no, was it the wall? I thought he were tied in the pit lane. Oh no, Speed, what have you done? It's a disaster for the Mercedes. Oh no.
His car's out on the middle of the circuit, well, it looked like, but it's disappeared. I think he hit the... It looked like he hit the wall as he went into the pit lane, but I can't tell.
I can only think he must have locked up when he was coming in, and the car just left him, and he's left the session, and you simply hate to see it, is all I can say.
Yeah, certainly. So that went from bad to worse in very quick fashion, but that's Formula 1 as Monty Perez has crashed or retired from the session. I'm not sure where. There's no yellow flag, so he must have been in the pit lane.
No, I think he retired on track, because I can't see a stricken Ferrari, and there's a red dot going very slowly. Or is that Nathan? It's hard to tell, really. I'm not sure where...
Nathan's coming through Sector 3 now, so...
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Moti Peretz there. He's just kind of... He's retired and disappeared off the map. Maybe he fell through the track, and that's why he's retired from the session.
The mole men got him.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that will be the end of the race for the Israeli in the Ferrari. But we turn our attention back to the front, because the Red Bulls, 7.5 seconds behind Myro, who is a further 4.5 behind Nath Clark, who is still out on those medium tyres. And I think the favourite to win is the newbie in the Ferrari today.
Yeah, certainly so. It's looking like it. We are we're coming up to the halfway mark of the race now. Everyone's seeming to get fairly settled into the race as Major Desola gets past NER Ayrton, who's coming to the pit lane.
Yeah, he's
out
coming.
On the first set of mediums.
Yep, so he'll be going to the end. Another 15 laps he's going to be doing on those mediums. He finds himself in P8. He's quite a way off the leaders, but I think Amir and Avi are definitely going to be pitting again. Nath Clark, Myra will be pitting. Eid Apple and Neil will be pitting as well. Major Desola is the only one in front of Ayrton at the moment who's definitely not going to be pitting. But Ayrton's catching him very, very quickly.
Yeah, certainly. So the hards aren't the best tyre around here. You need a lot of grip to navigate all these corners, and the hards just don't cut it.
They certainly don't. He's having a torrid time out there, is the Alfa Romeo. But hopefully he can pull through. He's going to have 2 Alpha Tauris breathing down his neck, and the first one is going to be there very, very shortly. 1.6 seconds. That was I blinked and it went down from 4 to 1.2 seconds. As Amir now sets the fastest lap on those mediums, so clearly they're coming into their own now as Ayrton goes a bit wide on the exit of the last proper corner on the track, but he's already within a second of the Alfa Romeo ahead, and this shouldn't be too difficult a job.
Certainly not. He'll close up in minutes, although Desola trying to break the toe at the minute, so it might not be as clear cut as it seems. The closing speed isn't great. He's not using any ERS. I think he knows he's going to get him eventually, as there's a yellow flag. Somebody's crashed in the castle section.
Safety car, VSC.
As he's gone round.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get back out.
Oh, be careful, Hoots. He just about manages to get back on track before Tier approaches, which is, of course, good. We don't want to see secondary crashes from one driver binning it. But yeah, that's really not ideal at all for NER Ayrton. Came out just as he was about to overtake the Alfa Romeo. Obviously that gap has increased quite a lot, but I'm sure it will come back down again as Desola has to adhere to the Delta.
The Delta just waiting for the race to get back on the way for the moment. I wonder if Nath Clark will peel into the pit lane.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not. Well, we'll have a look though as he comes down. He's just behind Hoots Too Much and Tier, who are both
on the left.
like they're coming in.
Yeah, he's in. The Ferrari is in, the race leader. And he's going to be going on to another set of the mediums, I imagine, as there gets a bit side-by-side action into the pit lane there. But here comes the Ferrari onto the medium tyres. The soft tyres he's going on. As he's changing his wing, he's got damage, the Ferrari, as the green flags are back out now. So Nath Clark onto the soft tyres. He's going to really struggle to get to the end here. We've got Major coming up as well. Eid Apple is up there, but he's also between 2 lap cars, which is not ideal at all. So he'll be looking to get past them as soon as he can, as they let him through with the blue flags, thankfully. But Major finally overtaken by Ayrton. Nothing he can do about that. Look at the understeer he's got on those hards. That they must be absolute hell to drive. He is not having a good time out there. But Ayrton looking good at the moment. 13 seconds down on Nath Clark, of course, but if things go his way, he can still find himself on the podium today, as Myra now leads the race in the Alpine.
Yeah, Myra leading the race. Those Red Bulls on the charge. They're looking set for a double podium this tonight. Nath Clark already closed the second up to ESRL, as is on the charge to try and get back into the lead of this race.
I think you just had one attempt and pronounced it better than I have ever done.
Wow.
I mean, well, we'll wait for Rick to confirm, of course, but...
I really put a lot of thought into that one.
Apparently Speed had a glitch where he touched the wall at pit lane entry and then it reset his car to track and retired on its own. Which,
wow.
I mean, that is the most Speed alcoholic thing I have ever heard. That's exactly the sort of thing that would only happen to Speed.
Look at that gap plummet. That was 7 seconds or so just now, and it's now 2.8.
Wow. Nath Clark flying on those softs, but of course, as we saw earlier in the race, as he gets to around 11 laps, he's really going to start struggling. So at the end of the race, he's going to be perhaps vulnerable to any cars he overtakes now. Rick says both are shite, so never mind. As we've got yellow flags again, it looks like that Scott is into the wall. Oh no, in Sector 2. It's yellow flags. There's no safety car at the moment for the stricken McLaren. Aces versus Kings right behind Neil up to turn 3. I don't know if he's going to be able to overtake. See if we can find Scott's car.
Oh, we've got to have a safety car for that.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Is far too dangerous. There it is, full course.
Yeah. The game finally decides to bring out the safety car. I mean, it's pretty realistic. We've got, of course, this is F1 2021, so Michael Massey's still the race director, and he waits for about 50 million years too long to bring out the safety car. So it's pretty realistic, actually.
Yeah. But the thing they've got right the most about this game, is the race director.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Myra might find themselves in a favourable position here.
Yeah, for sure. There's a big gap behind to Nath Clark. This is also going to really help Nath Clark, actually. I think he might find himself back in the lead. No, he's going to pit. He's going to pit for another set of the softs as he goes for an overtake in the pit lane on Eat Apple, and he makes it stick. He's done a Vettel.
Wow.
Well, he's into the pits for another set of softs, as I said. Out he comes. Is he going to be ahead of the Haas? Yes, he is. So it paid off for the Ferrari. And into P4 he goes. As Amir and Avi have gone onto the medium tyres. So maybe they didn't have any fresh softs left.
Maybe not. That's going to be interesting. Nath Clark, with the pace he's got at the moment, could make short work of them. But Myra is going to be the car leading us around as we reset the grid.
Could also be because they don't think the softs will make it to the end. I think they're mistaken, because this safety car could be out for a little while longer, and yeah, the softs are going to be okay by the end, I think, because of the safety car. So I think they've made an error there. Major De Solo also onto the medium, so I think he's made a similar error. Yeah, he's going to struggle, but the two Red Bulls are going to be massively vulnerable. We saw how quickly those softs closed up on the old mediums for Nath Clark earlier. I know they're new mediums, but it's still going to be a massive pace difference for these first few laps, and I'm worried the Red Bulls are going to start plummeting down the grid as soon as we see green flags.
Yeah, Nath Clark is playing the best way to destroy your gearbox.
Oh my god, he is.
Yeah.
Into neutral.
I'm not going to ride on board with that
Yeah,
anymore.
and me neither.
Very disgusting. Uh,
NER Ayrton, by the way, this is perfect for him. Safety car has brought him right back into the race on those soft tyres. And do not put him out of the running for a podium today. He's the fourth running soft tyre runner. So if I am right and those medium runners start plummeting down as soon as the safety car comes in, then we could see Ayrton make a move, as Eve Apple has overtaken Nath Clark somehow. And he's let him back through again, so I'm not sure what is going on here. This is some strange game bug, I'm sure. Looks like Nath Clark has found himself back in front again. If a penalty pops up, we'll know why. I'm sure he will appeal it.
yeah, certainly so. I think we might be going back racing next lap as the cars are slowly rolling in. There's Van's Racing's in the pits at the moment. He's going to lose a place to Wimax, which will put him at the back of the grid. Hoots and Tier are lapped. They are... Whereabouts are they? I think they're in between...
Hoots is between Avi and Nath Clark, so that could be something to watch. The Williams is going to get in the way of this battle for the podium here. Perhaps give the Red Bulls a little bit of breathing room for maybe... Well, it's not going to be long. He should let them through fairly quickly after the green flags, but it's still not ideal for Nath Clark.
No, not at all. Not at all.
As we come around the castle section under the safety car, but Myra 2705 in the Alpine is leading this race on merit with the fresh soft tyres and has looked pretty pacey today. So Myra is going to be dreaming of a race win here, and I don't think it's too far-fetched. Welcome back, Lifebout. Basically, Scott crashed in Sector 2, unfortunately, and brought out the safety car. And pretty much the entire grid has come into the pits. Some have gone for mediums thinking the softs won't make it. Others have gone for the softs. I think the medium runners are mistaken, though. At least that's my call as the commentator. We'll have to see if I'm right, but the safety car stays out another lap, which is going to help the soft tyre runners for sure. So obviously Michael Massey deciding that the back markers weren't quite closed up fast enough at the end of this lap, so we're going to be out for another one. It's going to be lap 19 when we get racing again, and yeah, Myra is in a fantastic position. The Red Bulls are going to struggle as soon as we have green flags.
Ooh, safety car's still out then. Ooh.
It is, yeah, it's stayed out another lap, so big help to the soft runners, as I said. Yeah. While you were gone. What's that penalty for Eve Apple? We've got pitting for Vans and Tier has pitted again, but they should catch up just enough. Eve Apple with 6 seconds of penalties. Yeah, so he's gonna plummet down the order come the checkered flag. So really struggled to keep it within track limits. It's a deceptive track, really, this. You wouldn't think it would be hard to keep within track limits, but it really can be, especially on elite settings, I imagine. This is like we're coming up to this turn here, turn number 7, it can be hard. If you just get a bit too much on the inside, that can be a track limits warning. Coming up to another corner where that can happen, not here obviously, but the left-hander that Avi is coming up to just now, you can easily go a little bit too wide there and get yourself a warning. There's another one at turn, where is it? Turn 4, I think.
Yeah, turn 4.
Turn 4, you can go a little bit wide as well. The last proper corner, you can go a bit wide. We saw that from a few drivers already today. So yeah, it can be tricky. But as we thought, the safety car in this lap. So Myra is going to become the effective safety car. Sorry for stealing your line. In the Alpine, the Red Bulls eager to get going because they know they're going to be very vulnerable to Nath Clark and Eve Apple as soon as the green flags are out, and Myra is going to have to try and build as much of a gap as they possibly can at this restart. I'm going to ride on board with Amir to see when Myra punches it and if they manage to catch out the reigning champion. Looks like they have. They've gone, and Amir is caught out. 4 tenths is the gap. Here comes Avi, 2 tenths back. Is not going to be able to make a move, though. Apple too far behind, but NER Ayrton already lining up a move on the Aston Martin of Neil.
Nath Clark.
Oh, and Nath Clark as well.
Inside of Irapel.
Down the inside, and now down the inside of Avi into turn 2.
Whoa, two in 2 corners.
Wow, brilliant driving from Nath Clark, and as I thought, the Red Bulls are plummeting straight away. Those soft tyres, just a huge pace advantage. Ayrton is going to looking for a move as well. He's already got it done on Neil as Eve Apple goes for a send on the, oh sorry, that's a lapped car. But DMV Assassin now round the outside, and there's contact with the back marker. The back marker has caused chaos here. I think that's hoots too much, but there wasn't really much that he could do. And a bit of carnage here in the mid-grid. Aces versus Kings takes full advantage of that, though. And into P7 he goes, but DMV Assassin, the biggest loser. We got yellow flags.
Kings doesn't have a ring, so he's going to be in the pit lane.
Oh, never mind, yeah. Yeah, you're right. So he's going to really struggle. Actually, oh no, yeah, he's definitely going slow. So Major's going to get past pretty quickly, and...
Oh,
yeah.
Hoots too much, not really adhering to blue flags at all.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. There's carnage going on across the grid. Major goes for a send on Aces as well. Further ahead, it's all kicking off. Van's racing, trying to get past as well, as Hoots too much is causing untold carnage here in the mid-grid. Major finally gets himself past Aces.
Nath Clark's going for a move on Amir. He's going up the inside, down into turn 1. They're going to go wheel to wheel.
Down the inside he goes, and he's made it stick. Up into P2 goes the Ferrari, and he's going to be hunting down Myra 2705, who wants their first race win in ESRL. Ayrton is 3 seconds down from the Red Bulls as well. Don't count him out for a podium, as Aces has retired in the pit lane. He's had enough, unfortunately. Ed Apple just behind the AlphaTauri, but not able to make a move quite yet. Watch that gap to Avi from Ayrton, though. It's 2.9 at the moment. Nath Clark, 1.3, 1.4. It's coming down, sort of, but it's sort of fluctuating, that gap. Does get a much better run through turn 6, though. So Nath Clark and Myra both looking for their first race wins in ESRL. Nath Clark looks to be on top at the moment, but there's still 6 laps to go.
Nath Clark, really good castle section. It's really closed up within under a tenth of a second, under a second now. Going to be looking to get DRS down that main straight there. This could be an easy pass for Nath Clark. He's been on fire the whole race. He's just been a man on a mission, and Myra is going to have it all to do. Oh,
and the Alpine goes wide as well. That's really going to cost them up onto the main straight, as Nathan Clark doesn't have much ERS left in the tank, and of course DRS won't be enabled quite yet, because we haven't had a third lap under the since the safety car yet. 20% in the battery for Nath Clark. Myra also down to 20%, used it all to keep the Ferrari behind, but didn't really need to. So a bit of mind games from Nath Clark there, and Myra has fell for it hook, line and sinker as we come up to turn number 2. Is Nath Clark going to be able to make a move? He's going to have the DRS now. It is enabled. So here comes the Ferrari.
Ferrari coming in close. I'm not sure he's going to be close enough on this occasion. No, not quite. But is one to watch as Nath Clark. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. That's Assassin in the pit lane, has retired. But Nath Clark has proved himself to be last of the late breakers, so we'll wait and see what he can do as we come into the last few laps of the race.
Look at the gap between 4th and 5th, 1.9, 1.7 now. Ayrton is catching very, very quickly, and Eat Apple is in there as well. But of course, those 6 seconds of penalties are really going to cost the Haas come the end of this race. Yeah, the focus is on the top two. Nath Clark gunning for the race win from Myra. It would be a first ESRL win for either of them. But who is going to prevail as they come through the final few corners of the track? They're both equal on ERS, but that DRS is so powerful into turn 1. And Nath Clark is going to have the upper hand here. As you said, last of the late breakers he's proved himself to be. Is he going to prove it again as he comes down? Look at the closing speed already. He hasn't even got DRS yet as they come down towards turn 1. Here they come. Here comes the Ferrari down the inside. He's going to go. As Myra, you can see the flashing red light. Myra nothing to defend with. And Nath Clark takes the lead of the Grand Prix. But here comes deep. Myra. He goes deep. Myra's back again. Down the inside up to turn 2. Is there going to be contact? Nathan goes deep again. He's into the wall. He's out of the race. The Ferrari has lost a win from the clutches. I'm not sure where I was going with that sentence, but he's thrown it away, Nath Clark. He was going around Myra had the inside line, and Nath just tried to leave the Alpine a bit too much room and braked too late. Into the wall he goes, and he's out.
The AI put him in the wall.
The AI put him in the wall.
Weird.
Oh God. Nath, I feel for you. I feel for you, man. You were... Yeah. You were absolutely brilliant this race, Nath. You don't deserve that. But, hoots too much. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. That's an odd one. But, yeah, that's... Well, a new safety car. We're going to get 2 racing laps at the very least. I think we might get 3. But Myra is in the driving seat. Those softs are going to be fine to the end here because the double safety car. And Amir and Avi are going to really struggle to keep Ayrton behind. So Ayrton might still be able to win this race.
Wow. Starts on the back of the grid and still somehow be at the front come the end. Myra using ERS, which doesn't really need to do.
Yeah, that's odd. I think maybe he's forgotten that it's on.
Yeah, looks likely.
Yeah. Ayrton coming into the pits. Goes Ayrton, Avi and Amir. No, Amir stays out. Avi into the pits. Ayrton in. Eat Apple into the pits. Is Major coming in? I reckon so. No, he's going to stay out. He's going to
change for Avi.
He's going to risk it. So Avi must have had damage from somewhere. Ayrton comes out on a fresh set of the soft tyres, but he's going to be behind Womax now. So Myra, I mean, unless something goes horribly wrong, Myra is... It's their race to lose.
Nath saying that he almost reset the track, so he obviously paused the game and the AI put him straight into the wall.
Ah, okay. Well, you're going to be in trouble with Scott for that.
Yeah.
Well, how many DNFs have we got? Rick said there would be 10. We've got 7, so
7.
3 to go, Rick. I hope not. I hope you're wrong. But yeah, only 11 cars left in the race. Womax P5 doing well in that Williams, but 6-lap-old softs is going to struggle against the fresh softs behind of Eat Apple and Avi. Amir...
I do like all the bunting around this track. I just had a thought. A lot of the bunting is very festival.
Yeah.
Very off topic, but...
yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe that's always there. I'm not sure. But Amir and Major, I think, are going to plummet as soon as the safety car comes in. Those mediums are going to be a struggle to get, well, not to get to the end, but to stay within race pace. And Ayrton, I mean, the safety car is going to stay out until... So we're going to get 2 laps of racing here, because it's going to stay out for lap 24, and then it'll come in at the start of lap 25. So we'll get 2 laps. That is how long Ayrton has got to clear the 2 medium runners, which shouldn't be too difficult. And then Myra just up ahead. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is going to be a good sprint to the finish. Safety car should be in this lap. There'll be a 2-lap sprint to the very end. Major Dessler finds himself in P3 at the moment.
Oh yeah, he does.
He's got Ayrton and all the other soft runners right behind him. Max could get a good result here if he can hold off ESRL and Avi and Vans. All sorts, but this could be a good result for some drivers that might not have been up here before.
Indeed. So those drivers warming up their tyres just up ahead. So yeah, Amir and Major going to try and desperately hold on to a podium here. We're not going to have DRS actually, so that could be a big factor here. There's not going to be enough time to enable DRS. So is Ayrton going to have enough time to get himself up to the lead of the race? It's definitely Myra's to lose, but I mean, I'm not going to underestimate Ayrton's pace. So 11 cars in the race. Tia is a lap down at the back. Hoots to much. Well, also a lap down, of course. But luckily they're at the back, so they won't be affecting anything this time. And Vans Racing running a very respectable P8, Neil in P9. A former ESRL winner, I believe, Neil 1997. Maybe I'm thinking of APPF1 Elite, but Neil definitely no slouch on elite settings, put it that way. But finds himself in P9, so not the best race for him, but safety car is going to be in this lap. We've got Myra setting the pace at the front, trying to catch out the reigning champion of EMEA. Major just behind Ayrton is watching and waiting as well. He's gone. Yeah, Myra's gone. And they've really caught out EMEA. 8/10 it is the gap.
Here
so
comes
EMEA,
Ayrton, look how close he is at the back of Major Dessler. He's going for the move up the inside. It's going to be a send to first corner.
And he's made it stick. The championship leader is onto the podium from the back of the grid. A bit of luck definitely has come his way, but absolutely you can't take anything away from him. He has been fantastic today. And into P3 he goes, and I mean, Amir is going to have a huge struggle to hold him off, and maybe even Myra come the end as well. Rumax shifts a position to eat apple just behind, meanwhile, as Avi tries to funnel his way through as well after that unfortunate wing change under the previous safety car. They're right with each other still as Avi goes down the inside at turn 5, and now to turn 6, gets the switcheroo down to turn 7, and that's a lovely bit of opportunistic move from the Red Bull. Into P6 he goes.
Ayrton, look how close he is to the back of that Red Bull already. Myra's going to have a lot of pressure if he can get past.
Absolutely, Myra definitely feeling the pressure. You can see that gap coming down and nearly goes into the wall, it looked like, up ahead. So definitely some pressure being felt for the Alpine. Can they hold on to this race win? Here comes Ayrton on the Red Bull of EMEA. They're going to both have the ERS, of course, up to turn 1, but Ayrton is using it all. Look at that closing speed for the AlphaTauri as he goes round the outside, at least relative to turn 1, and he's going to make the move well before the corner. Myra is going to have something to think about here. We could have a drag race to the line as Eat Apple gets past Major de Sola, but Major is fighting back maybe, but no, backs out, thinks better of it. Just decides to keep P5. Oh yeah, great move.
Rumax shifts 2 position as Neil goes up the inside as well.
Yeah, Womack's really struggling on those 9-lap-old softs, but as Vans hits the wall on the exit of turn 2, has he got damage?
Major de Sola, he's going to go round the outside for turn 3, surely not.
Oh my word.
Shown between the two of them, there's space left. They're going to continue to go side by side down into turn 4, the outside turns into the inside for Abbey, and he gets up to P5.
Absolutely fantastic from the Red Bull.
That's tear off at turn 3, he's still going though.
Here comes Ayrton, is right behind the Alpine, pushing Myra through turn 7. And Ayrton really trying to find a way through, but it's going to be so hard to win this race from here. How much ERS has Myra got? Only 30%. I think that's going to cost Myra the race win, just using far too much ERS in places where they really don't need to. And Ayrton, surely not, surely from the back of the grid, is not going to win this race. I can't see it not happening. The ERS advantage is too big. Myra just not able to save the ERS in the right places. Here comes the AlphaTauri. We're going to get a drag race to the line for the race victory here in Baku. Can Ayrton do it? Round the outside of the Alpine. He's into the lead of the race. Down they come towards the line. Myra finds the slipstream. Here comes Amir going for P2 in the Red Bull. He's going to get it. Ayrton wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Myra, well, on track on the commentary stream, it looked like Amir was ahead, but the game has put Myra in P2. I don't know if that's going to be challenged in the stewards or not, but we'll have to see. But Myra loses out on the race victory right at the end, and Ayrton, against all the odds, wins the 5th race in a row.
Wow.
And my throat is very dry.
That's 2 action-packed races in back to back. And Ayrton competed in both of them.
Absolutely.
Different gravy. Different gravy this man.
That's all you can say. That's all you can say. Ayrton, the Dane, gets himself his 5th win on the trot. Every single race this season has gone to the AlphaTauri, and he wins in Baku by 1/10 of a second over the Finn of Myra in the Alpine, who just about couldn't hold on to that first race victory. Amir, the reigning champion, gets a well-deserved P3, with his teammate managing to get P4 in the end from Major, who rounds off the top 5. Van's racing a decent P6 with Neil in P7. Elapple drops to P8 with penalties. Womack's P9, and Tier rounds out the top 10 with Hoots to Much, the last driver to be classified, and Nath Clark, DMV Assassin, Aces vs Kings, Scott, Moti Peretz, Speed Alcoholic, and Ted 420 all not able to finish the race.
Baku to Baku, great races. Baku to Baku, great comms. Nice one, Rick.
But yeah, wow, what a return to ESRL. A 3-wide challenge for the race victory, a drag race to the line between 3 cars in the end, and it was Ayrton who came out on top once again in the AlphaTauri. Can anyone beat him this season? It's really starting to look like no one can touch him. But anyway, it's been fantastic to commentate on ESRL today, as always, and thank you to Scott for hosting ESRL and all the admins as well, and to all our drivers today for putting on a great show. And of course, thank you to Sumo in the commentary box for joining me this week. But without further ado, thank you everyone for watching. I have been Ghost.
And I have been Sumo.
And we'll see you next week for Race 6. Goodbye.